are joined now by Clint Bowyer, driver of the number 14 One Cure Ford. Clint, take us through the last several laps out there today.
You just don't know what's going on. I mean, you kind of do, but you kind of don't. You pick up, little bits and pieces of what the crew chief and the spotters are telling you. But, I saw him stay out when we pitted, and I was like, well, what's that mean, Where are we going to come out? And I kept looking, where's the 78? And then, he just had such an advantage on tires there at the end, same advantage we did of the time prior than when he had tires. So, all in all, there was 3 cars that were class of the field, and proud that we were one of them, but kind of frustrated that we weren't over there in victory lane.
Open it up for questions. Any questions upstairs? We'll go to you, Don.
And if there had been a caution, would that?
No questions upstairs.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there had been a caution, did you have a car enough to take him?
It had just been a good race. I mean, obviously, if we stayed out, it'd have been one thing. If we pitted, you'd adjusted your air pressure and things like that for a short run. And again, there was 3 cars that were the class of the field all day long. And, you could get to them, you could get to their bumper, and without moving them or dive on them or something like that, you just kind of settle in and just save your tires because you knew you needed to be patient and wait till the end of the race. And we had, all 3 of us were kind of doing that. You could see one of us drive up to them, and it was like, we'll just wait and see what happens, So it never did present itself to have a restart like that. And that's kind of, honestly, I think that's a credit to the caliber of equipment out there, the caliber of drivers out there, a lot of rookies out there, and young kids that haven't been here very often, if not the first time. I really thought and expected there to be a few more problems out there, and there just wasn't.
Kind of unrelated, but you had a special guest in your pit box today, Evander Kane from the San Jose Sharks. Was just wondering if you had a chance for his very first NASCAR race to get an idea of what he was all about.
Yeah, enjoyed him over at the One Cure tent before the race, and I'm sure the guys enjoyed him. Just seemed like a good personality. It's always fun to see, celebrities and sports figures and everybody come out to these races, and certainly this is one that they all flock to. So it's cool to have him on board this week for sure.
Related to the race, though, I wanted to ask you about the track conditions. Obviously, the temperature was a little bit different today than yesterday. I wondered if that figured into anything that happened out there.
Yeah, all weekend long, just turn was a little bit more of an issue than forward bite, and that's been different, in the last 5 or 6 years that we've been here. It's always been kind of a forward bite deal, and it seemed like we all fought turn a little bit more this year than forward bite. But all in all, it was a lot of fun. Always is coming out here, and there was 3 cars that were like I said, that were stood tall amongst the crowd, and we never got a restart or anything else to put on a show. That's unfortunate. We're all competitors, and trust me, when you're out there in clean air like that, it's kind of nice. But we all understand everybody's here, and I hope they enjoyed the race. And you work your ass off out there. I mean, it's hard to showcase that. That track is demanding full attention and full focus. Every single lap, especially when you're racing up there against my teammate Kevin and Martin. You don't see mistakes out of those guys. Cars that you lap and things like that, you see mistakes. But the guys that are running up front, they don't slip, they don't make mistakes, they take care of their tires. And if you look at their cars sitting down there, stacked up, it showcases that. So I had fun, ready to go see my little guy. See you guys.
Thanks, Clint. We are also joined now by Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 4 Mobile One Ford. Kevin, obviously you're the defending race winner here from last year, and you've also been one of the dominant forces this season. Was there anything that you wish that you had approached differently out there today?
No, I think everybody did a good job. Martin just had a little bit faster car than we did today, and at the beginning of the race, we could outrun him just a little bit, and as the second stage got over, we just started struggling with the brakes on our car, and when the brakes started not working as good getting in the corner, I started carrying more speed through the center of the corner, and then it started to burn the rear tires off on the exit. So just kind of a few things compounded there to add up to you know, a few things that didn't work out to win the race today.
Open it up for questions. Start, gentleman over here.
I was watching as the cars came in off the racetrack, and it's amazing how clean they are. I mean, there's not a whole lot of body damage, a lot of carnage. Is everybody just getting better at road racing? Was it much harder out there than it looked?
You know, this is always a tough race, and you know, it's not always about slamming into people. And you know, I think as you look at the restarts, that's usually where the most damage comes, and we didn't have many of those today.
Additional questions? Right here.
Did their Truex's late pit stop confuse you, surprise you? Looked like it sure helped them.
It didn't affect our day at all. I don't think it would have been any different of an outcome.
Right here.
Kevin, Clint just spoke of, you know, you have to be focused and the track was demanding. How would you explain it? Was it demanding to you as well?
Well, I mean, any road race is demanding, you know, and I think when you look at how many things are happening and the pace fall off, you know, that you fight here, I mean, there's just a lot of things to think about, you know, as you go through the day, and you know, you're starting to fight different problems as you go through the day and get later in the race, and things start to get harder just because the car doesn't feel as good, it doesn't stop as good, things just don't feel as good as they did at the beginning of the race. So it's a very demanding day, a lot of things going on, and especially when you know you don't get too many breaks out there on a day like this. It's hard on everything, on your feet, your legs, your arms, your head, just because you're bouncing off the curbs, you're slamming on the brakes, and so there's a lot going on inside the car.
Next, we'll go upstairs. Any questions upstairs?
No questions upstairs.
Any additional questions for Kevin? Thank you, Kevin.